I'm sorry everyone, I shaved my beard off. Yo, what's going on people? How's it going? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, host Jan. I hope you are all doing well. You know when you shave shorter and shorter and you think, hey, it's a good idea to go clean shaven, and then you realise you look like some form of newt afterwards? I regret shaving my beard off. Anyway, Chelsea's opportunity to get right back on the horse in the Champions League after a dismal result in the Premier League against West Brom, and of course dropping out of the top four at the hands of West Ham. Wolves can just get relegated now, I'm done with them. Lots to talk about with the Champions League midweek game. This video is brought to you by OneFootball. That's right, I'm partnering up yet again with my favourite sponsor, OneFootball, to let you know about the completely free experience which is the OneFootball app. Keeps you plugged into the beautiful game, giving you stats, lineups, fixtures, transfer news, everything you'll ever need. You can follow your favourite team, get match alerts and all sorts of alerts. Check out OneFootball by clicking the link in the description. It's totally free. Do yourselves that favour. Alright then, let's get into today's match preview. So let's talk about Big Tommy Tuchel. He obviously addressed the fight on the training pitch between Kepa, Arrizabalaga and Rudiger in his press conference today. Pretty much accepting, yes, it was pretty serious, but he's very happy with how the players have responded and how it's all done with now and in the past. He also said a few more interesting things of note regarding players. Pretty much everyone is fit and good to go, but he said some things like, yes, Rudiger will start. Yes, Kante will start on the bench. And he spoke about Tammy Abraham and Pulisic also being available for this game, although I don't expect any of them to start. Pulisic did have a sort of twinge in his hamstring at the Brom game, that's why he came off. Didn't actually get injured, but he felt that sort of vulnerable thing that if he carries on, he might get injured. So that's kind of good news, I guess. Pulisic's not fully injured, he's in the squad. But yeah, wouldn't expect him to start. Neither would I expect to see Tammy Abraham start. And Kante, you would like to see him start a game like this, especially after watching that disaster class from our midfield against West Brom. But after Thomas Tuchel says yes, he'll be on the bench, you sort of accept his honesty and say yes, we won't see him start this game. So it's all positive. He also was posed the question, do Chelsea have an advantage because Porto are without their two highest top goal scorers? They are without their two top goal scorers this season for this game, and he says yes, it's an advantage, but you know, Atletico Madrid were without loads of players or free players in the first leg against Chelsea, and we actually did better in the second leg against them when they had their full strength back and Chelsea were without players, so you can never really call it. Yes, Porto are a favourable draw, but they did eliminate Juventus from the Champions League before us. Granted, that game kind of went in their favour. Let's take a look at this lineup in front of me, which Porto put out last time in Liga NOS, where they won 2-1. It's a 4-4-2. They can play on the break, they can play in possession, depending on opponent, but you think with Chelsea, they'll be playing without the ball and looking to hit Chelsea in transition. Of course, Porto themselves has won the Champions League with Jose Mourinho, the one who stole the show. That song will sound weird if you don't know the reference. Anyway, yes, right before Jose Mourinho came to Chelsea, he won the Champions League with Porto. They've won many league titles, and currently they are second in Liga NOS behind Sporting. So they will pose difficult questions, and they will try and exploit Chelsea's weaknesses, and of course they will be rubbing their hands together after watching Chelsea get slapped about for 5 from 19th place West Brom. That will absolutely give them confidence. I've constructed a predicted lineup which I'm going to show you now, so let's switch over screens and talk about that a little bit. Right, 3-back system of course, but I've gone for a 3-4-2-1 as opposed to a 3-4-1-2 formation. In goal, of course, we can expect to see Edouard Mendy. We wouldn't expect Kepa to randomly come into the fold in such a high stakes game, so Mendy in between the sticks. Now, interesting one. We know Rudiger is going to start from Thomas Tuchel's comments in his pre-match presser, and that's a good thing. It's probably quite welcome because we saw how he defended in his absence. Boy, how things have turned around in terms of my opinion of Rudiger in this Chelsea team. He's just such an imperative player all of a sudden, but he is a leader, and he's obviously got chemistry with the other certain members of the back three, so that's great. Similarly, on the other side, you would absolutely expect to see captain Cesar Azpilicueta start this game. In fact, the only difficult question of this back three is in the middle, the sweeper role, if you will. Thiago Silva or Andreas Christensen. Now, people might think, well, put Christensen in. He's been immaculate since he's come in that back three for an injured Thiago Silva. And of course, Thiago Silva got sent off in the Premier League. And I've thought about this a little bit more, but I've actually gone for Thiago Silva because now he's obviously suspended for a game in the Premier League. Of course, Christensen will come in, and that's imperative we get top four. But Thiago Silva was brought in for these big games, for these like Champions League occasions. Do you know what I mean? And although he was silly to get 2 yellow cards against West Brom, he was sold short a couple of times by Jorginho, and West Brom just seems to be his jinx team. I think this is a good opportunity, a good opposition to play a leader in the Champions League like Thiago Silva. Remember, he captained the side in the final, only months ago, and Andreas Christensen, although he's been amazing for us lately, he's also got some negative experiences in the Champions League for Chelsea. Remember Barcelona, high profile game, massive mistake he made. I think keeping Andreas Christensen back into the Premier League for a moment, and that sort of continuity there, and bringing, Thiago Silva in for this game as a leader in the back three is important. Now, Jorginho was nothing short of awful in my opinion against West Brom, but we know N'Golo Kante is going to start on the bench, and we wouldn't expect Billy Gilmour to randomly start this game against Porto, even though many of us would probably like him to, just like to see him a little bit more often. So we have to expect Jovicic in the midfield, Jorginho and Kovacic hopefully more fully focused and a little bit sobered from the weekend game, and maybe they'll all play a little bit better together and not sell Thiago Silva short, and everyone just concentrates a little bit more. We need leaders, and I include Rudiger in that. Rudiger, Azpi, Thiago Silva, and sometimes Jorginho. Do you know what I mean? So that's fine. Good. Now, wing-backs, I actually expect to see Ben Chilwell come in for this game. Alonso was pretty poor as well against West Brom. And let's just show a little bit of rotation here. Ben Chilwell is a very good player. I want to see him start against Porto and express himself hopefully a little bit in possession. So left wing-back, I've gone for Ben Chilwell. Now, it was a toss-up at right wing-back between Callum Hudson-Odoi, who we haven't actually seen for a while, or Reece James, who is obviously more complete in terms of defensive capacity. And because I'm going for quite an attacking lineup generally, or certainly in the front three, and because I think Chelsea will be quite attacking generally in a lot of the ball, I think we'll need a defensive nous to get back. So I think Reece James will keep his spot at right wing back. It would be very interesting to see if Callum Hudson-Odoi starts there, and I'd probably feel quite good about it. It would seem like quite an ambitious move. But we'll see what happens. Personally, I've gone for Reece James in my predicted lineup. Now, one player we will all be delighted to see return to the starting lineup is Mason Mount, an absolute superb functional player that makes us play better, and of course has seemingly got a goal in him for England and Chelsea recently, so we'll have to absolutely see him starting one of those number 10 roles. And personally, I want to see Kai Havertz start, man. He hasn't looked like he's done anything wrong recently. We know he's quality, and I think he could play quite well, combining quite well with Mason Mount. I wouldn't be surprised if like a Ziyech starts. He was a bit unfortunate to be sacrificed in that Brom game. But personally, I want to see Mason Mount and Kai Havertz start in those number 10 roles behind Olivier Giroud. That's alright, there's a lot of talk about Tammy Abraham, and I do have a lot of love for him at the moment, but of course, this is the same stadium, I believe, in Seville, where Giroud scored 4 goals. Maybe he'll have that sort of some sort of mental conditioning of re-entering that stadium where he just scores loads of goals. Tuchel even talked about it in his press conference. I think Olivier Giroud will start this game a little bit more of an anchor up front with Mount and Havertz floating around should my lineup come to pass. But that's what I think will work really well, and that's my starting lineup for the game against Porto in the Champions League. Let's switch screens and talk about this game a little bit more. Right, so of course it's a massive, massive game. We can't take it lightly, especially if, Brom are going to put 5 goals past us at home all of a sudden. Chelsea need to be fully focused, look to control the game, not go gung-ho here and basically just go back to the professionalism that we had under Thomas Tuchel that's shown why we're such a good team. Good defensively, defend in possession, and try and get 1 or 2 goals. Not massively inspiring at the moment, but if it works, just keep doing it, man. So I'm going to do a score prediction for this game. I don't think it's going to be gung-ho, free-flowing. I think we're going to keep it tight. But I think Chelsea are going to win it. I think Chelsea are going to win 1-0. So positive, you know, not conceding goals. Go back to just not conceding goals. That's massively important for this team for confidence. So I'm going to say Chelsea, you know, win this game 1-0, take that into the second leg, and we move from there. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on this game. Comment in the comment section down below. Let me know changes to my starting lineup that you'd make. Let me know your score predictions and general thoughts about the game. I want to hear it, my friends. If you've enjoyed the content I've brought to you today, please do drop a like. It does support me. Consider subscribing if you're new. Go check out OneFootball by clicking the link in the description. Enjoy the football, my friends. Mwah. And I will see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.